Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is August 12th, 2024, and today is Monday morning. So looking at those highlights, commodities extend their gains. But first, no major economic events scheduled for today. So looking at the markets after a roller coaster ride from the previous week, we're watching the Forex symbols pretty much across the board. The major pairs are just taking a pause. Now looking at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ also really unchanged from day to day. And as we look at commodities, all of them, gold, oil, and natural gas, extend their gains to the upside. Now looking at stocks, it's Apple and Meta that made the biggest gains on the upside. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin takes a bit of a sell-off and just retraces just a bit below 60K. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD. Not much of a change here. Not that the Euro USD is some sort of volatility index standard, because it's not the most volatile pair in the Forex arena. However, it is a go-to. So we did brace here and we did kind of pause here as we hit this resistance-ish level. We're seeing a little bit more activity in the GBP USD gaining versus the dollar. As you can see that, a little bit more of an extension there as it's making a correctional move after that sell-off that we had. Now looking at the other major pair, the Japanese yen, really just dead on its waters here. It did get that bounce, but is shifting lower again and now just bouncing off of that low. So with it said, this is really important because this is your benchmark. This is the one that we're all looking at. Now jumping into commodities. Gold, nice gain here, extending the gain to $24.35. Okay, if you look at crude oil, also extending the gain to $77 a barrel. Now lastly, natural gas also extending its gains above $2.20. That was a nice comeback for natural gas. And yet it is still have room to come back. All right, now jumping into the US market, really doing nothing on Friday, 39,600, just pausing, just unchanged really from day to day, from that previous day, from that previous bounce. Now looking at the individual stocks, Apple did gain nicely on the upside, almost closing in that gap to 219. That's something to look forward to. Let's see if it uses that 30-day moving average as a resistance-ish area. And looking at the other major component, Meta, coming back big on the upside to 517. Now, some of the other major stocks didn't really do a big comeback. However, it's something to note, JP Morgan did extend some of those gains to 205, still off its 217 high. Let's see if it makes it back, okay? A lot of things are being digested right here. A lot of demographic issues around the world just heating up, and that may potentially, be a catalyst for a sell-off. Now, lastly, let's take a look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin had a nice move on the downside after getting that bounce. Now, it didn't, the markets bounced almost across the board, right, after that major sell-off. But to see how they react after the bounce is just as important, because those that are holding on or even higher, those are showing you some strength. The ones that got the bounce and then falter out afterwards are showing you some weakness. And that's exactly what we got with Bitcoin here, as it did get that bounce above 60K, but couldn't sustain it, and then, drop below 60K to 58K right now. So with that said, let's see if we get another bounce, okay? That's the question here, because it's not really trading in a trend. It's just, in a range, the lower range at 55,000, the upper range at 70,000. And we're right now closer to the lower end, okay? And if it doesn't show us some strength there, it may break it back down to that supportish area. So it's something to consider for later today. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.